The very first speech I made in Parliament, the very next day evening, and Dharmendra Pradhanji, calls me and says, "Hey, Tejasvi, come here. Yeah, Arunji is trying to reach you." I said, "Dharmendraji, who Arunji?" And then he said, "Hi, Jaitley Saab." And he tells me that he was very, very impressed with my Parliament speech. On the last day of the Parliament session, when I was on the way to airport to come to Bangalore, his secretary calls me and says, "Sir, can meet you this evening." And then it was supposed to be a 5-minute meeting, but I ended up speaking to him for more than 1 hour, 20 minutes. "Call me if you need anything better." These were his last words. Despite his failing health, makes time to meet me, spends an hour and tells me what to do. This is why the BJP is what it is today.
Who were the people who were guiding you in the party in Parliament?
The very first speech I made in Parliament was received very well by a lot of people, but that the very next day evening, I was walking in the corridor of Parliament, and Dharmendra Pradhanji, calls me and says, "Hey, Tejasvi, come here. Yeah, Arunji is trying to reach you, and you're not answering your phone." I said, "Dharmendraji, who Arunji?" And then he said, "Hi, Jaitley Saab." So then I was like, "Oh God, he's trying to, talk to me." And I was like, "Sir, please give me his contact number. I'm going to call him immediately. It's been my life dream to talk to him." So I collect his number and I call Arun Jaitley. And Jaitley ji, ever since I got mobile connectivity at home and on my phone, internet connectivity at home and on my mobile phone, I have watched hundreds of hours of his speeches. Literally worshipped him. It was a big moment for me when I was, going to be talking to the Arun Jaitley on the phone. I never thought, I would one day be speaking to him on the phone. So it was that time when he was not doing very well, health-wise. And so he calls me, I call him and then he calls me back. And then he tells me that he was very, very impressed with my Parliament speech. And that, he has, I have his full blessings. And then he tells me, read more, practice more, have a lot of patience. He gives me all of these, advice on the phone for 4-5 minutes. And then I ask him, "Sir, can I meet you once?" And he was really not keeping well. So he says, "I will keep you posted." Every day of the Parliament session, I would call up his office and ask him, "Sir, can I get 5 minutes with sir?" So on the last day of the Parliament session, when I was on the way to airport to come to Bangalore, his secretary calls me and says, "Sir, can meet you this evening." And then I cancel my flight, turn back and go and meet sir. And in his house, there was books on sports, there was books on music, there were old Hindi movie songs, there were cricket bats. There were science books, there were books on law, on history, on Sanskrit, on yoga. It just showed what a multi-dimensional person Arun Jaitley ji was. There were some old, Bollywood songs that he was listening to, and there was cricket playing on the, TV, and then he was reading some 3-4 different books on the table, some old English novel, and then some books. I think some work he was, some government related stuff. All of this. And then it was supposed to be a 5-minute meeting, but I ended up speaking to him for more than 1 hour, 20 minutes. And I still cherish and value each minute of that 1 hour, 20 minutes that I spoke to him. And I still remember, just before I, left, I, touched his feet, took his blessings, and I was about to leave. And then he said, "Call me if you need anything better." These were his last words. because just a week thereafter he passed away. But what was amazing about this encounter was this man is at his, like his not doing, okay health wise, so frail, so weak, but sits with a young guy, mentors him for 1 hour, shares with me his incredible parliamentary experience, suggests me what to read, what to do, what not to do, parliamentary speeches, do's and don'ts, indulges in a friendly banter as an equal for 1 hour. And weak that he is at that point in time physically, while I'm leaving, he says, call me if you need anything better.
Yeah.
I mean,
He knew his time was limited, but seems like all his last interactions with people were quite filled with life, and he was ready to battle on, it seems. Yeah.
I mean, my respect for him was always, it was always very, very personal. I have always personally respected him a lot. But after this interaction, it was something else. I mean, watching a young guy on Parliament TV, on Sunset TV, then trying to call this guy, for 2 days trying to reach him because he was not able to reach, then call a parliamentary colleague of his and tell, I'm trying to reach this guy, I'm not able to reach out, tell him. Then Dharmendra ji tells me.
Yeah.
And then I call him back. Then, despite his failing health, makes time to meet me, spends an hour, and tells me what to do. This is why the BJP is what it is today.
Click here to watch the full episode.